Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name's Muhammad Riskiyadi Siregar. My student number 1201041625. I am from class 3C. I am a student of English Education Department of Education and Teacher Training Faculty of Sultan Syarif Qasim State Islamic University Riau. The course is Intermediate English Grammar. The lecturer is Mr. Murphy, MED.
At. We use at with times. Example, at 5 o'clock, at 11:45, at midnight, at lunchtime. But we usually leave out at when we ask at what time. Example, what time are you going out this evening? We also use at in this expression. Example, at night, I don't like going out at night. At the moment or at present. Mr. King, wish you at the moment or at present, etc. B. On. We use on with the dates and days. Example, on March 12th, on 3 days. C. In. We use in for longer periods of time. For example, months or years or session. Example, in April in 1968 in the winter. D. We do not use at only before last and next. Example, I'll see you next Friday. They got married last March. E. In plus a period of time includes a time in the future. Example, the train will be leaving in a few minutes. Include a few minutes from now. You can also say in 6 months' time, in a week's time, etc. Example, they are getting married in 6 months' time. We also use in to say how long it takes to do something. Example, I learned to drive in 4 weeks. Includes it took me 4 weeks to learn. Next, our point for during and while. A. For and during. We use for plus a period of the time to say how long something goes on. Example, for 6 years, for 2 hours, for a week. You cannot use during in this way. Example, it rained for 3 days without stopping. Not during 3 days. We use during plus noun to say when something happens, not how long. Example, during the movie, during our vacation, during the night. B. During on while. We use during plus noun. We use while plus subject plus verb. Compare. Example, during plus noun, I fell asleep during the movie. Example, while plus subject plus verb. I fell asleep while I was watching television. Compare during and while. In these examples, we meet a lot of interesting people during our vacation. We meet a lot of interesting people while we were on vacation, etc. Here, are some more examples of while. We saw and while we were waiting for the bus, while you were out, there was a phone call for you, etc. When you are talking about the future, use the present, not will. After a while, I am going to Toronto next week. I hope to see Tom while I am 3. Next, I'll find by and until by the time. A by plus a time includes not later than. Example, I mailed the letter today, so they should receive it by Monday. Includes on or before Monday, on Monday at the letters. You cannot use until with this meaning. Tell me by Friday whether or not you can come to the party. Not tell me until Friday. We use until or till to say how long a situation continues. Example, I was tired this morning, so I stayed in bed until 10:30. Compare until and by in these sentences. So will be away until Monday. So she will come back on Monday. So will be back by Monday. She will be back and or before Monday on Monday at the letters. B. You can also say by the time something happens. Study these examples carefully. It is not worth going shopping now. By the time we get to the store, they will be closed. Includes they will close between now and the time we get 3. When you are talking about the past, you can use by the time something happened. Example, I had a lot of work to do yesterday evening. By the time I finished, I was very tired. Includes it took me a long time to do the work and become more and more tired during this time. You can also use they. Then or time. Example, Tom finally arrived at the party at midnight. But by then or by that time, most of the guests had left. Next, our find in, at, on, position 1. A. In. Study the examples. In a room, in a building, in the water, in a row, in a line. There is no one in the room or in the building or in the store. Look at that girl swimming in the water, in the ocean, in the river. When I go to the movies, I prefer to sit in the front row. Not that we say sit in an armchair, but on a chair. In a photograph or in a picture, in a mirror. In the sky. Who is the woman in that photograph? Not on that photograph. It was a beautiful day. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Don't sit in that armchair it is broken. B. In the front of. In the back of. Example, the car is in front of the truck, but not in the truck. The truck is in back of behind the car, but not in the car. We say in the front or in the back of a car, room, theater, group of people, etc. Example, I was sitting in the back of the car when we crashed. Let's sit in the front of the theater, but on the front or back of a piece of paper, photograph, envelope, etc. Write your name on the back of this piece of paper. Next, I will find in add on position 2. A. We say that someone is at an event. For example, at a party, at a concert, at a conference, or at the movie, or at a football game. Were there many people at the party or at the meeting? I saw Jack at the football game or at the concert on Saturday. B. We say at work, at an airport, at sea, in bed, on air farm, at a station, at the ship passer, in prison or jail, in the hospital. Can you meet me at the airport? Have you ever worked on a farm? Tom's father is in the hospital. You can say be home or stay home, with or without it. We'll be out during the day, but will be at home all evening. I didn't go out last night. I stayed at C. You can be in or at college or school. Use at college or at school when you are thinking of the college or school as a place, or when you give the name of a college or school. Example, Dan will be in college or in school for 2 more years. Tom is away at college right now, but he'll be home for the summer. D. You can often use in or at with buildings. You can stay in a hotel or at hotel. You eat in a restaurant or at restaurant. We usually say at when we say where an event takes place. For example, a concert, a movie, a meeting, a sport event, etc. Example, we went to a concert at the Arts Center. The meeting took place at the company's main office. We say at someone's house. Example, I was at Tom's house last night. Or I was at Tom's last night. We use in when we are thinking about the building itself. Example, the rooms in Tom's house are very small. E. We usually say in with towns and villages. Example, Tom's parents live in St. Louis, not at St. Louis, but you can use it when the towns or villages is a point on a journey. Example, do you know if this train stops at Smithtowns? F. We say arrive in a country or town. Example, when did he arrive in Japan or in Tokyo? We say arrive at with other places, buildings, etc. or even. Example, what time did he arrive at school, or at work, or at the hotel, or at the party? We say arrive home without a preposition. Example, when did he arrive home? Next, our point 2. Been to, into. By car or in my car. A. To. We say go or come or travel, etc. To a place or even. For example, go to Brazil, come to the US, return to Italy, etc. We say get to, but arrive in or at. What time did you get to Montreal, or work, or the party? We say go home, or come home, or get home, etc. with no preposition. Example, I'm tired, let's go home. What did you get home last night? B. Been to. I have been to a place. Includes I have visited a place. I went there, but now I have come back. Example, have you ever been to Japan? I have been to Buenos Aires twice. C. Into, go into or come into, etc. Includes enter a room or building, etc. Example, I opened the door and went into the room. Don't wait outside. Come into the house. D. By car or in my car. We use by blah 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 to say how we travel. Example, by car, by train, by plane, by boat, by ship, by bus, by bicycle, also by rail, by air, by sea, by subway. Example, how did you go to Paris? By plane, but we say on foot. Example, did you come here by car or on foot? But you can use by if you say my car or the rain or a taxi, etc. We say in my car, not by my car, on the rain, not by the rain. We use in for cars and taxis. Example, in my car, in a taxi. We say get in, to, or get out of a car or taxi. Example, he got into the car and drove off. Or he got in the car, blah blah blah. We use on for bicycles and public transportation, buses, trains, etc. Example, on my bicycle, on the bus, on the 648 train, on a big ship. We say get on or get off a bicycle, bus, or train. Example, quick, get on the train. It is ready to leave. Next, our point, noun plus preposition. Reason for, cause of, etc. A. Noun plus for, element or a need for. Example, the company closed down because their ration enough demand for its product. There is no excuse for behavior like that. There is no need for it. A reason for the rain was light, but nobody knew the reason for the lie. Not reason of. B. Noun flash of an advantage, a disadvantage of. Blah blah blah. Example: the advantage of living alone is that you can do what you like, but there is an advantage in also doing something. A cause of. Example: the cause of the explosion is unknown. A picture or a photo or a photograph or a map or a plan or a drawing, etc. of. Example: Rahel showed me some picture of her family. I had a map of the town, so I was able to find my way around. C. Noun plus in. An increase or a decrease or a fall in fishes, etc. Example: there has been an increase in the number of food accidents recently. Last year was a bad one for the company. There was a big fall in sales. D. Noun plus to. Damage to. Example: the accident was my fault, so I had to pay for the damage to the other car. An invitation to blah blah blah, a party or a wedding, etc. Example: did you get an invitation to the party? A solution to a problem, or a key to a door, or an answer to a question, or a reply to a letter, or a reaction to blah blah blah. Example: I hope we find a solution to the problem, not a solution of the problem. I was surprised at her reaction to my suggestion. An attitude to or toward someone or something. Example: his attitude toward his job is very negative. A relationship or a connection or a contact with someone, something. Example: do you have a good relationship with your parents? The police want to question a man in connection with the robbery, but a relationship or a connection or a difference between two things. Example: the police have said that there is no connection between the two murders. And the last point, preposition plus noun. By mistakes on television, etc. To pay by check, but to pay in cash or to pay cash. Example: did you pay by check or in cash? To do something by accident or by mistakes or by chance. Example: we hadn't arranged to meet, we meet by chance. A play by Shakespeare or a painting by Rembrandt or a novel by Tolstoy. Example: have you read any books by Tolstoy? Any books written by Tolstoy? To be or to fall in love with someone. Example: have you ever been in love with anyone? In my opinion. Example: in my opinion, the film wasn't very good. In time, include soon enough for something, soon enough to something. Example, will you be home in time for dinner? Includes soon enough for dinner. On time includes punctual, not late. Example, the conference was well organized, avoiding everyone on time. To be on fire. Example, look, that car is on fire. To be on the telephone or on the phone. Example, I've never met her, but I've spoken to her on the phone, on television, or on the radio. Example, I didn't watch the game. On television, I listened to it on the radio. To be, to go on a diet. Example, I have put on a lot of weight. I'll have to go on a diet. To be or to go on strike. Example, there are no trains today. The railroad works or are on strike. To be or to go on vacation or on business or on a trip or on tour or on a cruise or on an expedition, etc. Example, did you go to forest on business or on vacation? But you can also say go to a place for a vacation or for my vacation. Example, Tom has gone to France for a vacation. To go or to come for a walk or for a swim or for a meal, etc. Example, she always goes for a walk with her dog in the morning. After work, we went to the restaurant for a meal. To have something for breakfast or for lunch or for dinner. Example, what did you have for lunch? I think that's all. Thank you very much for your attention. I am sorry for weaknesses. See you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.